You guys are a great, great group. I can already tell you're quick to type. I'm going to go through a lot of questions for you. We're going to make it very interactive. And usually my hope with all of my live webinars is that you learn something from me and I actually learn something from you. So I'm so grateful that you're here. It is such a privilege to be able to teach you here at this webinar. And if you are having a hard time seeing me, I know it takes time sometimes for the screen to kind of clear up. If you're having a hard time connecting, go ahead and hit that reconnect button at the top. But as long as you can see and hear me, you're good. I'm going to go ahead now and switch to my presentation. Now that you've seen, I'm here, we're live. Let's go to the presentation and then we'll get started. Hold on, here we go. I'm going to screen share. All right, here we go. And if you're used to my presentations, you know I've got oodles of slides, lots of visuals, lots to show you. So I'm going to go ahead and cut me out. Here we go. How to quit your day job and become a stager and designer. You guys are actually my biggest group yet. I have to actually show you this. It was quite impressive. We had more people, this was this morning, signed up for this webinar than I've ever had before. And I actually secretly think it's because the how to quit your day job kind of resonates with us. So I'm going to ask you in the chat room, this is just a little bit of fun. Go ahead and tell us in the chat room the worst job you've had, because I'm going to tell you my worst job. In college, I was a birthday clown in the Los Angeles area. This was right around the time of the LA riots, and I literally would go and be a clown at birthdays in Compton, the inner city, you name it. So I don't know if any of you can top that, but I get it. Telemarketer, yes, that's a tough one. Okay, I get that one too. So I thought I'd have a little fun with you. Some great ones, some bad ones, but we've all had some kind of tough jobs. And sometimes it's not until you're able to kind of work for yourself and have a little freedom do we get to really have a little bit of fun. Dishwasher, I love it. You guys are good. I've got a rowdy group, which is perfect. Okay, great. Pizza Hut, cashier, I love it. So I also wanted to share, I mean, you can see over 800 of you actually filled out the survey, and the survey kind of asks the questions of kind of where you're at, what do you want to learn, what are your questions, and I really appreciate it because I get questions from, you know, how do I get jobs, how do I market, how do you even start it with staging, I just heard about this, and how can I be a stager or designer without any formal training, or I'm interested in e-design, or how do I start out on my own, or do I need a lot of inventory? Do some of those questions resonate with you? You can in the chat room go ahead and put yes. I definitely read through all of these so that I know that my presentation is kind of appropriate for you, but I know you come to me at all different levels. So who is this presentation for? It's for people who are new home stagers. It's for those of you who are just thinking about the industry. You're looking into it. I know a lot of people who have become new home stagers were actually looking into the industry for years or maybe even weeks. It's for real estate agents. I had a lot of people on the survey who were agents looking to add staging or maybe work with a stager. This is definitely for you. It's for my veteran stagers. There's always something to learn in this industry. And it's even for those people who are just design enthusiasts and color lovers, because you kind of know if you love to look at before photos like this turn into after photos like this, then you're in the right place. So how many of you have been, I always say this in the chat room, redecorating or redesigning your room since you were a kid? You were that little child that always kind of moved things around your room. You love design magazines, you love to do things, just change it up all the time. You love to look at before photos like this, turn into after photos like this. I should have mentioned the last before and after was my sister's. My sister is a stager, so you can see we've been doing this for a while. It's a family business. Anyway, great. So I can already tell I'm talking to the right person. If that's what you love, 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 we are that rare breed of people that actually do that. Most people, by the way, do not rearrange their rooms and do not love that sort of thing. I have 2 boys, and trust me, they never look at their room. So it's unusual. That's just something we have. It's part of our passion. So let's talk about what you're going to learn. In this session, we're going to talk about the importance of those passions for entrepreneurs. I'm going to talk about the planning steps for starting a staging and design business, because I know a lot of you were just like, how does anyone get started in this? I'm going to talk to you about that. talk about a little bit of self-assessments, location assessments, structure for, how do you take a phone order when an agent calls you and says, "Can you stage this house for me?" What kind of questions should you ask? And how to launch your business from a marketing standpoint. I know a lot of you had questions on that. How to innovate your business, find your niche, and price simply. Some marketing and branding. And I always say, if it's okay with you, if I give you a lot of great information, you can see I'm going really fast. That's the way I work. If I give you a lot of great information, is it okay if I give you a couple training specials? So if that's okay, go ahead, if I give you a little sales speech, if I give you a lot of good information, go ahead and put yes in the chat room if that's okay with you. So that's what I always like to do. I offer a free live webinar, give you a lot of great information, and then at the end, I'll usually tell you a little bit about me and my business and my training special. So I know a lot of you are used to that, and thank you. Who am I? This is me. I am Audra Slinky. I am president of the Home Staging Resource. We have been around for almost 15 years. We were the first online mixed media staging and design training company. So I help people become a stager and designer. That's what I do. That's what I've been doing for 15 years. I absolutely love it. I also blog for the National Association of Realtors and my blog, which is voted #1 and 2 staging blog. So I was pretty pleased about that. I've won some awards. I've shared the stage with Barbara Corcoran, Sabrina Soto, and Vern Yip at the RESA conventions because I love to speak at those. But I'm most proud of training the most award-winning, wonderful people in the world. Those are my members. Those are the staging members. And when you see this logo, HSR certified on any home stagers, if you're doing your research or you've looked at stagers in your area, when you see this logo, you know they are my person. They're HSR certified, and that's what makes me most proud. And if you're on this line and you've actually taken any one of my trainings, because I also have a color training and an e-design training, I always love to see if you're on. A quick shout out, love to hear it. I don't, you know, great. Thank you. Good. But before I did any of that, I was a mom and I loved being a mom. These are my 2 little baby boys way back then. And I think I was in a lot of your shoes. I was at the point in my life where I thought, I'm going to do something for me. I want to do something that I love. And it was about this time I was ready to do that. I was a mom for a while and then I was starting to get antsy. And that's when I discovered staging. And I love staging. And that's kind of where I've come today. Now, this photo was taken last weekend. These are my boys going off to formal, and you can see that the time flies. And I'm so grateful for finding this industry. It is a fantastic one. So for many of you I know in the survey who said you're just looking into it, I remember being in your shoes, and yes, time does fly. Yeah, you guys are great. So let's get to the presentation. I'm going to ask you an important question because I mentioned how quickly time flies. You saw my baby boys turn into men. Are you moving toward your dreams with real momentum? Do you even know what those dreams are? Are you pursuing what you love? I mean, I know that how to quit your day job, I think really resonated with a lot of people. And I know a lot of people said that their jobs are okay. How could they do this or learn to do this on the side? Those are important questions to ask ourselves, right? Because life is short. But I always have to throw that. So if you have a piece of paper and pencil in front of you, I usually give you guys notes, and I'm sorry I didn't on this presentation. I always work my presentations as I go. This is a fairly new one, but I want you down the end of your sheet of paper, if you have one, write the word passions, because what I believe is absolutely true, having created a couple businesses, is that your passions will be the fuel for whatever entrepreneurial endeavor you decide to do. So I know you're on this line kind of thinking, okay, do I want to get into staging? Do I want to be a designer? Or I am a stager and designer, but it's that passion that will fuel your business. So even if you're one of my veteran stagers, you have to make sure that within your business, you're still following the passion of what you like to do within that business. We're going to talk about that. So I'm going to use this as an acronym for passions. We're going to talk about how you do planning, some assessment, how you structure your business, how you get support, how you innovate, how you make your business open and transparent, how you learn to say no to some of the business you shouldn't be having, and how you even just start. So we're going to cover all of those things in this presentation. Got a lot to go. So let's talk the first thing, planning first things first, since I know a lot of you said, I don't even know how to even get started. So basically, one day at a time, like that sheet. But here's just some steps to getting started in the home staging industry. A lot of people think, do I need to get a license? Do I need to, do this or that? You don't. That's the beauty of this industry. It's actually anyone could just go, okay, I'm a stager today. They start their staging business either as a sole proprietor or LLC. They choose their business name. They reserve their domain or website address, at GoDaddy. That's $15, and away they can go. Or then they usually will create a website. There's so many options for websites now. We actually have a website option through my training company for people who are stumped. But Squarespace, Wix, those are great places to kind of build an easy one-page website, I think. And then you want your business cards, your brochures. And really on the website, all you really need is your About Us page. You need to think about the services you want to offer. And you really need to think about those before and after photos. A lot of people are wondering, okay, but I know you all told me that you love redesigning rooms. So I always say, organize your home office, your kitchen desk, and start creating your portfolio. You redesign some rooms in your own home or a friend's home. In fact, I have a lot of my members will swap skills. They'll have a friend create a logo for them, and they redecorated a room and got their portfolio done. So, there's some beautiful things about this industry. You can start very simply. I love it. I should tell you to save your questions for the end because I'm not always reading as I'm presenting. But T asked a great question because I've seen a lot of scare tactics out there where people have said, that watch out for your business or it'll be regulated. No, I do not think that staging will become necessarily a regulated industry because that is the beauty of this industry. It stems from your inner talent and it stems from your inner passion. Nate Berkus, by the way, is probably one of the more, we know this guy's name as a famous interior designer. By the way, he doesn't have an interior design degree. People are willing to pay when you have a lot of talent. That is a more regulated industry. Staging is different, but I love it. So save your questions for the end, I should tell you. But so you see, you need to also think about whether you quit your current income or how you want to slowly build. I'm going to ask you a little questions along the way so that you can do some soul searching throughout this training. But you also need to understand the costs involved. A lot of you guys had questions. Okay, what's the cost of staging? How do I start this business? Well, of course, I'm going to say you should start with training. Training will chop off months of legwork time. My training, obviously, when starting a business, guidance. You just need the marketing materials. You need a website and hosting so that that's kind of your online brochure. And you need a computer and a printer and a cell phone. And all those things, by the way, become write-offs for your business. So there's not that much. I know a lot of you are like, where's the inventory? Where's the accessories? You don't necessarily need that to start this business. I'm going to talk about that in just a bit. But those are the simple costs. And that's why I always say home staging is one of the least expensive businesses you can start that actually you can make good money at. That's not a multi-level marketing. That is not what we are proposing here. This is legitimate. It is a home staging interior design business. Brandy, I love what you just said. Okay, I got to stop reading the chat room, but she said it was meaningful to her. Absolutely. A lot of my stagers turn into designers because they are staging for the sellers and the sellers say, wait, I really want to spend on the home I'm moving into. Can you come in here and help me with that? Well, of course they can. So that gets me into why the staging industry is super hot right now. And I'm going to tell you, I don't have to look far to find recent articles. Here's one just from a few days ago on the real estate industry and how it's really hopping, because staging is connected to the real estate industry. When it's going bonkers and people are making great money on their home, staging and interior designers generally do pretty well, right? People have equity to spend on their number one home. Even when when the real estate market wasn't doing well, people needed to stage just to sell their home. So it's kind of an economy-proof industry. That's one of the things I love about staging. But you can see homeownership rates climb at a 6-year high. Mortgage rates are at 3-year lows. This is all good things for the real estate industry. And I always like to say starting a business is not easy, but it's not hard to be better than the competition. I have to tell you that. A lot of people think that. Is my area saturated? No, you can always be better than the competition. You really have to believe that you can be and get the right resources. Staging is the only cost to the seller that actually makes them money. Do you know so how many in the chat room Those of you who are stagers, do you understand what I'm saying, right? Where you go into that home, you stage it, and that seller is actually selling that house for more money than they would have. Do you agree with me? Go ahead in the chat room and put yes. Structure, focus, and mindset matters. Everybody I know would agree on that. And staging is much easier to start today than in the past because there is so much opportunity, so much opportunity. And in fact, here is just some more statistics I just pulled off. This is kind of the equity gain that people are making on their homes year over year. This was last year. Notice California, people have made oodles of money, California and Hawaii. And then this one was just from the last quarter. It's interesting, they're still making money in these states, but these other states, every state is in the plus figures. What happens when people have equity in their home? They want to spend on it, right? They want to spend on improvements. And that's why this remodeling forecast index going through the years 2021 is going up, 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 up. And that's kind of why staging is not just staging the home to sell, but any good staging job turns into that move-in design. But I always say the beauty of this industry, it has the best business plan in the world because stagers have a really easy target market, and that is real estate agents. These are wonderful people to work with. They're very easy to connect with. They're sales agents. They're working on trying to get that home moved. And the good news is statistically, according to the National Association of Realtors, most agents believe that staging really works. So let's get to the number 2 critical thing, and that is you. It's all about you, doing an assessment, both personal and professional. I should remind you guys, if you have a question, I want you to keep it, but keep it for the end. I don't want to look at the chat room, but because I want to answer all your questions, and don't worry, I will. So I want you to think about right now yourself. For those of you who just think, I don't know if I have what it takes, I want you to envision your perfect job. What would you do if you could not fail? What would you be your perfect job if you could not fail? Now you can even put it in the chat room if you want. In my training, like the first day, I have this quick checklist guide of, some of those things I told you about where, what kind of business do you want to start? We talk about that. What kind of name? I walk you through researching that. But it's really about how to get started. And part of that is, where do you see yourself? What is that vision that you see for yourself? What is that relatable story from what you're currently doing that brings you into the now? And that's important because that becomes your About Us page. And if you can create that kind of real, relatable story, that About Us, then people will be drawn to you. They'll be drawn to it. And then you need to think about, okay, what services do you want to offer? What is your mission? What would be your mission? And what are your resources? So that's kind of this personal assessment that you need to do today, in terms of what do you want for fitting in that personal, like looking into your future, especially if you're thinking about quitting that day job. So I just got this email Saturday and I kind of love it. This is from a gal, and I think it will resonate with you, and I'll be curious if it does. Tracy Eli, she actually just got through the first week of my training. She took the plunge a few weeks ago, bought the training, and she sent me this email and she just said, this has been one of the best personal weeks I've had in a long time. Doing this for me and building my confidence back has been such a relief. Quote, I can do this has run through my mind a million times, quickly followed by a healthy dose of apprehension, right? The amount of material in week 1 was overwhelming, but it's broken down. I am never frustrated. I'm finding the answers. I was excited. But how many of you sometimes have that dose of, can I do this? I can do this. No, I can't. I can do this. No, I can't, in terms of fear with really what you want to do in your future. I get it, right? You can go ahead and put, yes, this is honest. I get it. And at every level of being a stager, we think that. Those are normal entrepreneurial fears. And that's why I had to share it. I know, Francine, all the time. I get it. Basically, I share that with you because we're not alone, right? I have those same fears. Am I doing this right for me? And so I also like to share stories, as you know, in my live trainings here. This is Kimberly Hawkins, and she's a more veteran stager, so she'll speak to some of my veterans. But this is her website, so you can kind of get an idea. Right from the top, I told you, what is your mission? What would be your mission? She has her mission right on her page. We stage and design thoughtful, livable spaces. I kind of love that. So she said the day she left Amazon, her job at Amazon, which we all know that company, she took my course. This was in December of 2017, and it was her mission to complete it in 21 days. She wanted the fundamentals to be armed with starting staging. So she was in a lot of your shoes. I know a lot of you have been looking into this industry for a long time. She was right there. She actually quit her job and started. That's why I like to share her story, which I think is pretty bold. So she wanted to have everything. And then she set her goals to open her business the next month. So in 30 days, she wanted to get her business running. She wanted to make $50,000 that first year and be staging $3 to $5 million homes. She surpassed her goals, and as a result, all those opportunities opened up for her. Interestingly, I love this kind of paragraph. She discovered that what she really loved, where her passions lay, was really in helping people and her team helping people. And she loved to work for those, seeing people tour the homes and get that like wide-eyed look of, wow, this is beautiful. And if you see her work, you can see it is spectacular. So that was kind of filling her passions, doing all levels of staging and quitting her job actually to do that. Now, I'm not necessarily recommending that for people. I'm going to walk you through how you can, if you want to do it very easily on the side. But it kind of gets me to structure. So that's the third key critical with your passions being the key to your confidence. Because a lot of you had said you don't always feel confident. We don't. Fear creeps in. So when you have all the resources and the answers, when you have a specific process that you can follow for every service you offer, you will appear credible, confident, professional, and believable. Guys, that is the secret to all those fears going away. When you have structure and process, it gives you confidence, professionalism, and it makes you believable. You're never going to have a client ask you how long you've been staging when you have a structure and a process for your interactions with them. They won't, because they'll be like, wow, this person's amazing. They've asked all the right questions. They knew exactly what to do. They were in complete control. So I just want to remove that fear from you, but that's the importance. And getting back to Kimberly Hawkins' story, which I kind of love, she would say to her team, Audra says this, Audra wants us to do this. And she took it into every stage of the training. And that's obviously from the training. So part of the way I do structure things, and you may want to even take a screenshot of this with your phone, but I have order sheets. These are forms so that you ask the right questions in the very beginning. So for those of you who are new stagers, when you get those phone calls from an agent, this is my agent pre-appointment order sheet, I tell people, you don't need to get any of this information up front. I know a lot of people make the mistake of doing that. I always just get their name. Hey, great, love to work with you. Who referred you to me? That I was automatically telling them that you understand that you are kind of that stager that gets referrals. And then you get into the level of the home. Because if you know the square footage of the home, the year it was built, the list price, how long the sellers have been in the home, and if they say, no, it's a brand new home, who's the builder, number of bedrooms, baths, and whether those sellers have done any recent remodeling, you've got a lot of good information. Would you agree? When you know whether they've done any remodeling and the year built in that home, you know how much return on investment, how old, how much cosmetics going to need, and then it leads to whether that's vacant or occupied. So anyway, asking all the right questions really helps, right? And can you imagine if you had a structure for every aspect of your business, like a phone call, whether any client would ever ask you whether you've ever done this before? Don't worry, they wouldn't. So one of the other things I say in my training, and this is just another hot tip for anyone who's launching their staging business, this is a structure again for the way you would market. So I have a structure for the way you do your social media, for the way you do your email marketing, for the way you do you name it, I have a structure for it in my training. So one of the things I tell people to do is when they're ready to launch their business, they go onto Facebook and they go to their friends and family. And that's what Alicia did here, which I kind of love. She said, I'm certified. Hey, do me a favor, let me know. And this is what I tell people to do in the training, which I love. So here's what she did. She did it. She mentioned her certification. And then what do you know? One of her friends says, oh my gosh, I have 1 million real estate friends. I want my friends to know about my girl, Alicia. She's now a certified home stager and designer. From the structure of just that one little marketing activity, she got a ton of business. And in fact, I wrote about her story in a blog post on our website, homestagingresources.com, if you want to read it. But basically now she specializes in Airbnbs. How many of you think staging or designing Airbnbs would be kind of a cool job? Yeah. Well, anyway, she connected with an old high school friend who said, I've been just looking for a designer to help me. I'm doing all these investment Airbnbs and I need someone to partner with. So she goes in, does all the redesigns, and she even helps manage it with. And based on her experience and many other stagers' experience, we went ahead and added a new training in my training on exactly how to offer Airbnb services to your clients. So it's in my training. So it's funny how everything grows organically like that, right? So that leads me to the fourth tip. You need support. You can't be an island. You just can't in this industry. Now, a lot of you may wonder, okay, when I'm starting, where am I working from? You're working from home. Most people start, they're working from home, right? They have their home office. It's great. And they kind of start their business that way. So that's especially why it's important not to be an island. And I always recommend the RESA convention. The Real Estate Staging Association is the trade association for our industry, for the staging industry. And they have conventions every year. This one's in Vegas for 2020, July 23rd and 25th. And I'm super excited. I'm speaking at this one along with a lot of other great speakers. But this is a way for people to connect. One of the things I do for my members is we have a pre-party. We do a private loft suite, and we all pre-party, and we can't even fit everyone in the space. It goes way deep, but it's just a lot of fun. So it's just another way to support and grow from each other. So if you are a veteran stager, if you've never done anything, I say put that on your list. You can go to resetconvention.com for the dates and the details. But it's July 23rd through 25th, and I will be there. And if you're one of my people, then yeah, we have a lot of fun. Another great way within my training that people get support. So I know a lot of you guys had questions about, okay, what's in the staging training? What do I get? I have a private Facebook group. So this is another way for people to get support. There's a lot of people out there who want to help. In fact, I just went in there today. You can see from this arrow, I grabbed, this was one of the top posts where Gretchen just shared her first occupied stage. And what's kind of cool about this that I love is she shared that it got over asking price, 2 backup offers. She shares her photos, and she got, I don't know if you can see that below, she got 45 comments in just the last few days. And most of them were just like, woohoo, yay. And that's the point. Because when you have a bunch of cheerleaders in your business, not just me, your trainer, but someone else, really helps. So when you're in the staging industry, it's so important that you're connecting with other stagers, whether it's through the Real Estate Staging Association, or through your training. So important. I need to also tell you that for a lot of you in the survey, I'm kind of going a little different direction here, but the RESA convention is tied with the Las Vegas summer market. And a lot of you asked in your surveys, where do I get inventory? How do I get things cheap? Well, the beauty about becoming a stager is you get everything wholesale because you get your wholesale license, you get your to the trade when you become a stager. In my training, I walk people through how to do it. But the RESA convention is timed with the Vegas market, where you get to, it's this huge 3 high-rise building filled with wholesale items, furnishings, home furnishings, gift furnishings, you name it. So you notice it's the dates right after convention. So that's why they time that convention then, so that you can shop. Here's me and my sister. I told you I like to share her work. She's another stager. And here, these are the 3 buildings where you'd be like a kid in a candy store, where you get to shop wholesale and get all this great inventory. So to give you a little idea, a little taste of the kind of inventory deals that stagers get when they want to grow bigger and do vacant homes, this little mini couch that has a little ottoman that can go on the either side is only $199. So, but like I said, you do not need inventory to start. I'm going to get into that too. But that's a good deal, right? That's the kind of deals. In my training, I got to walk you through all the great deals you get and where to shop and all that stuff. If you want to go that route, the inventory route. But I just have to give you a taste of that side. So let's go step 5, innovation. And this is where you need to find your niche for growth and solutions. Okay, because a lot of you had asked me, I don't have a lot of capital to start. How would I get started? Or I'm a stager right now, and where should I be spending my money? They don't know what to do. All right. So Carrie, okay, quick question on the chat room. I shouldn't have. High Point is very similar. Las Vegas and Market and High Point are pretty much the same stuff. Furniture markets. There's a handful a year. It's a good question. Anyway. So let's talk about the way the direction stagers go. If you have money, capital to start this business and to invest in inventory, maybe vacant staging is the niche for you. If you have flexibility and time, because vacant jobs take a little bit more time and energy. If you don't like the client part as much, I've noticed my vacant stagers, they really just like that clean slate, walking into that empty house and then working their magic. That's what they love. So vacant homes like this to this. And I have a lot of stagers who know this is the one thing I walk them through in the beginning of my training is, okay, which direction you're going to go. You might dip your toe in both at first, but you will know kind of what direction you want to go. Leah knew right away. She invested in beautiful inventory, and now she's staging celebrity homes. So if you're the opposite, if you have some monetary constraints, right? So a lot of this is personal. You have to think about your current situation. If you need more time flexibility, and I'm seeing you guys have questions in the chat room, please save them. I want to definitely talk to you later, but I want to also get through this presentation. If you need more time flexibility, I have a lot of people who are retirees who think, okay, I'm 6 years old, but I really want something. I'm an empty nester. I don't want a full-time. I want a part-time. Consulting based business. If you like to work with people and offer solutions, that's a consultation based business. You like the challenge and creative of working with their items and solving design issues. You're kind of working with occupied homes. And a good example of that is, this is one I pulled from my sister's work. This is an occupied home she did. It's a beautiful home. You can see the ocean, right? But she goes in and she does a 2-hour walkthrough, tells the seller everything they need to do to get this home in ship shape, to make lots more money on the sale of it. And you can see there's an example of an after. She shopped for the client, she came back for a staging day and did an install, and you can see the difference, right? It makes a difference, even the occupied stuff. So stagers can go in a lot of different directions. There's a lot of different homes out there with different needs. So you don't have to be all things to all people. You just need to fit it with your business. And that's one of the things I absolutely love about the staging industry. And I've seen people go in different directions. So a lot of you I know have asked about pricing. So I'm going to answer that question a little bit here, while I also tell you how people make money doing consultation-based business. Remember, consultation-based business, you're not investing in any inventory. It's a zero overhead business. You're just investing that basic stuff I already told you: the training, your computer, your cell phone, your website, and your marketing materials. So if you did 2 staging consultations a week, they're usually 1 to 2 hours. They're usually around $200 a piece. That would make you $400. And let's say, like my sister's situation, one of those consultations led to 2 hours of shopping, $150. A lot of stagers charge anywhere from $75 to $150 an hour. It's a little bit less when they're shopping, because a lot of times they can shop for a couple clients at once or do that sort of thing. That's just the way I keep it simple. I have different formulas in the training, but this is just a simplified way of the average of what stagers would make. And then let's say one of those, like my sister's job, turned into a staging day, right? Where you're installing what you bought, you're spending time rolling up your sleeves, working with that homeowner, dialing in the space, right? And maybe one turned into a color consultation. Color consultation, you make a little bit more money because they have a little bit more technical aspect to them, and people are afraid of color. So that would make you $1,600 a week, or $83,000 a year, in a zero overhead business. Obviously, a lot of marketing. You'd need to be marketing your socks off, but really that's not that many. That's 15 client hours a week, right? So for those of you who are looking for a side gig, or a lot of you had told me that you're working your full-time job, how could you possibly do this on the side? This is how stagers do it. They slowly build their business in a consultation-based manner, right? Because consultations you can do on the evenings and on the weekends. You can do all of this stuff on the evenings and weekends. It's only 15 client hours, making $1,600 a week. Does that make sense to you guys? Go ahead in the chat room. You can put yes. Remember to save your questions. If you added just another day of redesign, because I told you, any good staging job that has a good structure and that stager's positioning it where they mention, hey, can I help you with the design of your new place, right? Not hard to position that. They love what you did in their current house, leads to a day of design. Now we're going over 6 figures, and that's what I love, right? There you go, on 20 hours of client time. not not hard. So anyway, that helps you with a little pricing. That helps you with that. You guys are a good group. So let's talk about consultation success. If that's you, I'm going to take you aside. If you go, oh, I kind of like that. I just want the zero overhead. My capital's low. You need to think about broadening your services. It can't just be one basic consultation. You need to do staging consultations. You need to upsell your redesign. You start with the staging because it's the easiest thing to market. You've got this great target market called agents. And then you do redesign, you upsell that, e-design possibly, and color consultations. And I always say color consultations is kind of awesome because it is a gateway service. People are afraid of it. It offers a lot of bang for your buck. Because color trends, can we all agree, guys, that color trends have completely changed? Really, in the last, we went from the brown tone to gray tone to the white tone, everything changes. So if you're thinking about focusing on a niche, I know a lot of you have been thinking of this. I'm going to give you my very first offer. I told you I was going to give you some training offers, and this one is for my certified color expert training. And basically, you get $50 off. It is an award-winning training. It is an online 3-day training that walks you through exactly what you need to do to specify the right color scheme for clients. Basically starts with the basics. You got to know the terms. I walk through the rules of color, interpreting it in the space. I have a 6-step process. You know me, I'm very structured with exactly what you do in the home to create the color palette. And it's not just for paint colors, guys. I'm talking about helping clients pick their finishes for any new build, for their flooring, their furnishings. We need all those colors to work well together. And a lot of times colors don't. So if you are interested in this training, you will want to click that button to get your webinar discount. Basically, it's just going to open up a new window. So don't worry, it's not going to mess anything up in your phone or your iPad or your computer, wherever you're watching this. But basically, and this offer is going away tomorrow at midnight. So it's just a limited time offer. But I walk you through exactly how to do the consultation. And of course, I would never stop there. My background is internet marketing. I walk you through exactly how to market this business for success. So it's a really shorter 3-day online course all about color. So for those of you stagers who are a little uncomfortable with color and you're thinking, I need to really add color to my repertoire to skill up 2020, this is a great one for you. We connect you with the Benjamin Moore, Sherwin-Williams. You get a color manual. And people love it. But of course, I would never stop there. You get a huge cheat sheet with all the favorite colors that people like and when to use them. So it's a lot of people find this as a great niche for themselves. I just got this email from Pamela today, actually. And so I had to include her cute little photo that she put. She actually said she has everything she needs to walk out the door this week and have success. I gave her the knowledge, the tools, support, the confidence for her first appointment. She's so happy. So I love it. Thank you, Pamela. I always like to include like the stuff I get, my testimonials of the day of, because I get testimonials every day, which I love, but recent kind of matters. I get it, Pat. A lot of people have trouble with color. I make it very simple. I kind of break it down very simply for people. So let's get back to the training. You've got your offer there. You can open that up. You can think about it, but I have to at least give it to you. Let's get back to this training and let's get to the O in passions. And that is the reason why people will buy for you. And the easy way to let go of your fear is just to be open, transparently, gorgeously you. You do. You have to put yourself out there. Here's a picture of me pouring my wine. All my people know I love my vino. and consequently, most of my people do too. But I'm just very honest about the way I train and who I am. You get a little glimpse of it in this live training so you can see how the inside of my trainings will look like. But I want you to see that. But more importantly, you need to trust yourself. You need to trust yourself. A lot of people, we don't normally trust ourselves, but you have been training yourself on the elements of great design since you were a kid. So you're solid. How many design, you have been loving design since you were a kid. Can you get more experience in that? I know a lot of you in the survey told me that, I don't have experience, I don't have formal training, this and that. You all told me in the chat room you've been doing this since you were a kid. So I would say that you are pretty experienced. So you need to trust that. I always tell people in my training that, and then when they go in with their structure in that first consultation, they're freaked out, trust me. And that's normal, like any first day on the job, right? But they email me back and they say, Audra, you were right. Everything kicked in, all that passion through all the years. I knew exactly what to do. I had so much fun with my clients. So just being open, transparently you. And you just need to trust also in the law of attraction. I know some of you had said, how do I get clients? Well, you do need to put yourself out there. They're not going to necessarily always be seeking you out. You got to seek them out. And like Alicia did, that one little structured thing that I told you she did where she put it out on Facebook. If you're not telling people about your business every day and every week, that's not going to help you in your marketing. Don't worry, in my training, I walk people through marketing for staging, but that law of attraction really does work. I find that the people that take my training, they're totally my people. It just definitely, you have to trust that. You have to trust in that gut instinct. You need to listen really well. You need to set clear expectations about what you're going to deliver in your services and say no to what you're not ready for, but know that you can do this. All right. Um, One of the questions I got from one of you just today, right, the 4th, she said, "Hey, Audra, my question has to do with occupied staging. Do you advertise, if you advertise that you'll work with the homeowner's current furnishings, but it seems later that you need to overhaul the whole thing, how do you explain that to the owner?" And I love that, Claire. So I told Claire I would answer that in this webinar. And the truth of the matter is, we are the experts. So when you are properly trained and you have the confidence and you know how much money that home is going to get, because they do need to overhaul their items, that they're going to make that much more return on investment on the sale of their home, then that's very simply said. As the expert, I can do this, I can work with what you have and we'll do our best. But if you spend this, this, and this, and we get new things in here, you'll very likely sell for more. It's just a higher return on investment because we're improving the space that dramatically. And there's a lot of statistics to back it up. That's why I have statistics on the front of my website for people. But the reality is, as the experts, we just got to tell the seller all their options and they get that choice, right? So it's pretty easy. And that kind of gets me to knowing when to say no. So setting those right expectations, letting them know, as the expert, here's where I know you're going to make the most money on the sale of your home if we do this, this, and this. But sometimes there are some people that are just not our client, right? How many of you on this line have worked with people, especially if you're stagers, that clients that you realized afterward, you had some red flags in your mind, you realized afterward, I should have said no. I should have said, sorry, we're not a fit. Anybody input? Yep, I've done that. Because it's called the 80-20 rule. And actually, I want to give you good news. In the staging industry, it's not even 20% of the people that are not going to be your right client. It's actually more like 2%, but they're still out there. So you need to sometimes learn to say no. No, say no to what you can and cannot take on. I got an email from one of my clients and they said, my first job's a 5,500 square foot home. Probably going to say no to that, right? Or call another HSR trainer, like go into our private Facebook group and connect with somebody locally and shadow them while you watch them do it, right? You don't have to take on that big business. I love that someone said, yes, sorry, no. If a client is not giving you the whole story or the full information, that's usually called a scam. And they are on house. They are all over the internet these days. So you just have to, that's why I have that order form. When you have that order form and that process, then you know that they're the right client. They've answered all the questions. If they are questioning your process and your rates, might not be the right client. And if they can't spare you the time of that phone interview order form, not the right client. And that is okay to say no, right? This is my personal. If they're negative, aggressive, arrogant, or whiny, just not my person, and that's okay. I love what Nancy said. You're better to turn down the job. You absolutely are. Do not waste your time. That's okay. Spend your time on more marketing, right? You'll get the client. There's so much business out there. There really is. So these are just some tips for saying no. So that gets me to say no to that person and then supercharge, spend time on your marketing. Like I said, you got to touch people. So the easiest way to do it is connecting locally, face to face. Nothing really beats the face to face. Like I said, doing like what Alicia did, the Facebook, connecting, throwing it out there to friends and family, letting people know that this is what you're doing, right? Connecting with agents at open houses, associations, and online. I told you the great thing is you have this target market. If my members know that their goal in that first year is to develop 5 agent partnerships. I have a whole plan for an agent partnership. That means that those agents have them go to every one of their listings. So if it's an agent that has 2 or 3 listings a month, that stager is going in and doing that consultation. So those are their partners, those are their people, right? And that stager's job is to make that agent look fantastic. So they connect with them on open houses, associations, you just get to know them. They're great people. Um, Make sure when you talk about your marketing, you got to look good. We are in the image industry, and I do see a lot of stagers, their logos don't look very good, their image doesn't look good, their marketing or their branding. You have to be really critical of that, and even throw it out to friends, family, ask people, be very honest about that. Connect your business with all the directories online. That's the beauty of it. Make sure your business is in all the places that sellers and agents would look for you. So where are those places? Yelp, House, Thumbtack, Risa, my website, HSR. We have a huge directory of stagers that's constantly, people are looking for stagers at, which I love. There's a lot of great places you can be listed for free or next to nothing. Angie's List, a lot of good places. Once you know you're in all the places people are looking for you, you automate and you can grow your email, your social media. That's the beauty of social media. Makes it really easy to just friend the agent that you just talked to. Connect with them, be a good friend. Don't be salesy, just be you. We don't have to sell. We're just letting people know that you're there. I highly recommend creating sales funnels for each service you offer. I have a video on that in my website at homestagingresources.com on how to do it. But the real easy way, especially if you're in a metropolitan area, is go onto Google and just do a pay-per-click ad. It's a simple thing. If you go to Google at the top, you can sponsor a search. Anyone in your area who is searching for a home stager, that's what you tell Google. I'm willing to pay if my ad goes to the top for those clicks. Just make sure your website looks fantastic, your portfolio is beautiful, and there you go. Facebook ads is awesome. That could be one of the ways you've heard from me, or Yelp. These are easy ways using internet marketing to get your business out there. People are remodeling. They need you. They need your advice. So when you have a gorgeous, credible internet presence, that usually equals a busy stager and designer. Yes, it takes some legwork. Yes, it takes some know-how. I walk you through it in my training, just for those of you who are wondering, and all the people, where do I get the training on that? I do, because I know that's my background. But basically, marketing. Are you guys, go ahead in the chat room, are you pretty excited about the design work that you do? Going into a friend's house, does the idea of going into a friend's house, if a friend says, I would love for you to help me with my living room, can you help me with the picking out this, this, and this, or reworking my furniture? Does the idea of that excite you? Because if it does, the good news is that kind of enthusiasm, that marketing is all that is. Marketing is enthusiasm transferred to the customer. It really is. And that's usually what it does. So getting back to Kimberly, Audra always said you end up bringing your own style into what you create. And she tries to be unique in each home she does. She's not a cookie cutter stager. I love it. Her goal, her mission, buyers, she wants them to stay a while. Now her business, so she has gone the vacant route, guys. So it didn't happen overnight, but it does happen. She's decided that's her niche. And her business now has their own warehouse full of furniture and accessories. They have their own moving driving team. She's also expanded to traveling abroad for the last year and through this spring, buying unique pieces for their inventory. So how many of you guys love to shop? The idea of traveling abroad for unique inventory pieces. Did I mention we love our job? So I love to share these stories because it shows you the different ways people do different things with their business. And here you can see, here's one of her teammates, and here's their itinerary. She built this huge itinerary. They've been traveling abroad for all these months, going to all these places buying inventory. How cool is that, right? Not just the Las Vegas market, where I told you it's a pretty awesome place there in High Point. So that leads me to the number 8 critical item, and that is the S, where most of you, a lot of you, sometimes you just need to start by starting. And I always say we have this compass inside us. We have this creativity. We have this need inside us to be creative. Every one of us. I know a lot of you have children like I do. I see it in my boys. The need to exercise creativity, whether that's in sports, whether that's in music, whether that's in art or cooking or whatever it is. But I know a lot of you are here because that need was in design. And creativity is like a muscle. It gets stronger the more you use it. It gets weaker when you don't. So using it on a day-to-day basis. And that creativity also is what drives that compass inside us, your true north, where you want to go. We all have that compass, but we don't necessarily have a map. So I always say the staging industry, if that's your creativity, if that's your compass leading you to staging and design, it is really the best business model to start in. And I give you the map. And that leads me to my next offer to you. And that is for $50 off of my staging training. So all of the stuff in this that I mentioned that is also within my training is available for one flat fee. So you get $50 off of it to midnight tomorrow night. I rarely offer these discounts, but I know for a lot of you who have been thinking about this for so long that sometimes that's what it takes. So the map will guide you and give you the confidence. Those of you who don't have the confidence, you have some fear, don't worry. It's a 3-week online at your pace, own pace training. So you get mailed a large training manual, and it corresponds with an online training area that's filled with videos, all the downloads, the forms. And the reason why online training is so important in this industry is you need to be able to refer back to it. You need to be able to put these videos on pause and make your dinner and come back to it. When you take a classroom training and you're all fired up, and then you start your business, do all this, and then 3 months later you get your first client, or 2 months later you get your first client, you're scrambling at your notes, right? Wondering, oh, what am I supposed to do for this consultation? How was I supposed to act, or what was I supposed to say? Well, you will never feel that way in my training, because you just go right back to my consultation section, watch my video, which will give you a huge shot in the arm and a lot of confidence, and you'll be able to face that client the next day with ease. So you get the hard copy, you get the logo, and it's a certification. So I'm going to go back to the chat. So if I recommend pressing that button to get the discount then will be available to you. And it is for staging and design training. In the training, I touch on color, but it's not for people who want color consulting. Jen, that's why that is a separate training. Some of my people just want to go straight into color consulting. There is enough in the 3-week staging and design that people are overwhelmed. It is a lot of good stuff. Walk you through every step of the way of starting that business. So I love the story. Maria and Anne, this is Anne Tristani. She went into this. I love what she said. She went into this training nervous, confused, and a very blurred idea of what home staging is. She had just found out about home staging was last May. She had never even heard. Now she followed my steps. She has a full company and confident. And what I really love, she started her business last June, then brought her husband on board, and then brought her daughter on board. And now she has a family business doing what she loves. How adorable are they, right? So it is 3 weeks. Here is a detail of what it is. It is a lot, but you have a year to get through it in terms of a membership. Bertha, there is a payment plan. The discount does not apply to the payment plan, but I do absolutely have payment plans on our website, homestagingresource.com. But for the discount, we don't. So we walk you through. Week 1 is all about the staging, consultations, pricing, walk and talks, how to do the open house assessment, all the forms. Week 2 is how to do vacants, how to shop the market, how to get your inventory, how to store your inventory if you want to do that for vacants, and then all about marketing. Tons of marketing steps to get you going, to get your business out there right away. And week 3 is really kind of advanced training where I walk you through realtor partnerships, redesign, design, alternative income streams, holiday design. I give you all the forms, the staging cheat sheets. I give you all these forms, and they're Canva templates. So then you can go straight to Canva and add these to your Canva account. Canva is a free marketing website, and it all comes in there. And then the pricing and proposal sheets for vacant and occupied homes, contracts. I know a lot of you asked about contracts. Yes, there is that. And walkthrough guides. A lot of you asked, okay, what do I do when I'm in the home? Well, don't worry. I told you I have a structure. I have a walkthrough guide on check. The client can fill things out. You're not doing these long, lengthy reports at home so that you're not making money. You got to make, the whole point of this is that you're making money doing what you love. The certification never expires. It's like your bachelor's degree. Once you earn it, it's yours. You have access for a year if you want to continue access. I am always evolving and adding to the training, and plus we have a directory that we need to keep fresh. So I see Carol had a question on renewal fees. I always tell people at the 2 months before your expiration date, I always say, hey, it's 2 months. Did you get business from being in our directory? you should be getting business from being on directory. If you did, then that $250 renewal is worth it. If not, no worries. You're not losing your certification, and you'll always be a grad to me. You'll always be my person. But that's really for people who want to stay in the directory and continue their access. Pat asked how long each day session takes. Good question, Pat. I would say about 4 to 6 hours a day, usually about 4. It just depends. A lot of people absorb material more quicker than others. And I do give access to a lot of resources. I kind of walk you through even the whole process of picking your domain name at GoDaddy and researching your business name to make sure it's not already trademarked or taken on Facebook, right? Just those little details. That's just day one. So it's usually about that. But a lot of people, like I said, Kimberly finished it in 3 weeks. Some people do. The core part of the training is that first week. I am different than other trainings. I do not nickel and dime my training. I give you everything you need to know about staging and design all in the training. So it's all in there with forms, guides, everything, and I'm always adding to it. That's why I love it. Because your confidence will come from your knowledge. So investing in your learning will inevitably lead to more confidence. If you are even a new stager, an advanced stager, and you just don't feel confident, I never have people not feel confident after my training. They love it. They just get right back into the resources. In fact, here's just a couple testimonials, of course. She spent hundreds of hours just trying to learn free stuff online. You know, if you're just trying to learn what's online for free, you get what you're paying for. Like I do this quick hour, but trust me, there's a whole lot more to know. And right when she jumped in, she said the content wasn't 10% as good. And I love that. Audra, I'm blown away at the training materials. I had paid $700 for a staging course, didn't find your website, and that it was a fraction of the training. And that's where I'm different because like I said, I include everything. I'm always adding to it. Oh, thank you, Carol. That's sweet. Yeah, I'm always signed up. Yeah, I'm always adding to it. I can't help myself. My passion is teaching. I love it. Kimberly, absolutely. In fact, I have a lot of agents who do this because obviously a lot of people get into real estate because they love staging. So you can take it both because it's at your own pace. You can take 3 months to get through the course. The point is you always have access to it, which is great. Just more testimonials, I like to say. Danielle said, I was initially going to open my business without the help. After just one day, it opened my eyes, which I love. And that's the whole point. So I always say, if you liked the last hour, imagine 3 weeks with me, right? It's right here. Because in the end, this is the one statement I do hear a lot of my stagers say, and that is they wish they started earlier. And I don't want that to be you. I understand timing is important, but I don't want you to come to me next year and say, why didn't I join you last year, right? Brandy, you do have a year to complete it. Melanie, do you need to be, she asked if you need to lift heavy things, furniture to be a stager. Melanie, consultation-based staging, you're just pointing your finger. You're not lifting a thing. So no. And even on the vacant stager, you don't. A lot of my vacant stagers, they just get assistance. They work with furniture rental companies that do a lot of the heavy lifting, and they bring in light accessories. Absolutely, if that's a problem. I have stagers who don't do any lifting because that is an issue. And I get it. So consultation-based model is a great model for that. Thank you, Pat. That was very sweet. So like I said, people, we only regret the chances we didn't take. Give me your passion. 30 days, 950, and I'm going to show you how to create it. I'm going to walk you through the successful business. Angela, they're not live. That's why you're able to refer back to them. I do these live trainings, and I do even private member live trainings, which I'm going to have one in a few weeks. But no, the point is you just can hit pause, go have dinner, get right back to it. It feels live, though. It feels like this. Gail, there's no travel time. Oh, I thought, okay, I mistook travel time in your rates. No, Gail, that don't complicate your pricing in that way, and don't travel far. I'm assuming that's what you're asking as a pricing question. How often do stagers work with investors? Oh, Kimberly, yes, I have a lot of stagers who make that their niche. And in fact, in the training, I have a whole list of different target markets and the ways you would get a hold of them and links and how to connect with them, because investors actually meet in groups, right? So easy ways to connect with investors. Okay, Jocelyn, you're way ahead of the game. I love it. If you need the clients, then get into my marketing section. My marketing section walks you through. It's about activity. It's about hitting the numbers. It's about talking to people, connecting with agents, connect with your local realtor association. You have an association in your area that is filled with your number one client, which is awesome. Um, Gwendolyn, you can do it at your own pace, and you're not left to your own understanding. You have a huge manual. It's kind of like your Bible that you start there and you read through. You're going to get mailed that when you purchase the training, and then you log into the members training area, and it corresponds. So you can see from my presentation, I'm very anal. Everything's in checklist format. Everything's very structured from day 1 to day 2 to day 3 to day 4, and you're just checking things off your list as you start your successful business. Cindy, I have a lot of Canadians take my training. It is all in US dollars. I am in the United States, but the training is universal. I have a lot of international students actually. Oh, vacant staging. Terry, I have the most simple, most wonderful formula for vacant staging. You will love it. Your vacants will go smooth, easy, and your clients will love you. Angela, how soon after training have people made their first sale? Angela, I have a lot of people who make their first sale in the training, because they're in our directory. So when you sign up for my training, you can go into our directory. And I always tell people, keep yourself open to the opportunity and options. Be your transparent, beautiful you. You get that phone call, you've got your order sheet, you take the order, you'll be surprised at how much business you can get right from the beginning. Siobhan, you get the merchandise. I have a members black book in my training that has over 100 different vendors that give you a discount to shop there. So even my people who love to shop, that might be worth it alone. So I have a whole list, vendors like Pottery Barn, Williams and Sonoma, Ballard Designs, Wayfair, House, you name it. I've got a whole list for you of all the places you like to shop where you already get a discount. What kind of niche markets are out there if your areas? Nancy, I've yet to see really an area oversaturated. I'm going to be very, very honest. But knowing your area, whether it's a vacation rental area, whether you're doing design, there's really no saturated area. It's really just a matter of more marketing. Great question, Deborah. Yes, you can. Color consultation. Obviously, you'd have to do a whole heck of a lot of marketing with it. And like I said, the secret to making that 6 figures with consultation only is broadening your services. But I do have a lot of people take my color training. They already have their existing design business or staging business, and it's like a 3-day add-on, and it's just they quickly can add it to their website and go, and they get a lot of color consultations from that. Gwendolyn, of course, you have I think you've already gotten a lot of emails from me, but if you have questions, absolutely. But the beauty is when people sign up for my training, they're also in my Stagers Connect group. So a lot of my stagers just talk and ask questions and answer questions with each other. It's really cool. How much would you need to get started on a monthly payment plan? Kimberly, go to homestagingresource.com. We have different payment plans. So there's different options there that you can go and check. Just look under staging training and you'll see those options. Carolyn, I absolutely cover occupant homes. I cover everything. Nobody walks away from those 3 weeks with a question. Trust me, I have been developing this training for 15 years. I have spoken and gone to every RESA convention. So anything I even learn at a convention, I'm adding to the training. And that's the beauty of online training. That's why I get to evolve it. I get to add to it, and I get to make it complete. That's the difference between what I do and other trainers. It's at your fingertips. I love that, Sylvia. Hooray! Airbnbs. Yes, Airbnbs, vacation rentals. People ask me that. Melanie, I am going to do an e-design webinar in probably a month. And I have a free little, you could check out the e-design training on my website, Home Staging Resources. That's another gateway to more design work. A lot of my stagers use it for that. But this training, I was focusing on staging and color. Brandy, I have a basic color training. So in my staging certification, I have a color module. It's very short and basic. It's just walking you through the basics so you know enough to be dangerous, but you're not going to be comfortable in color consultations or that sort of thing if color's not your thing. But yes, you definitely have color in there. It's just the color training really expanded it on how to market color consultations, how to do color, how to read color, and very easily. The website, Gwendolyn, yes, we actually do have a website product because I never want the scare of technology to scare people away. So our website is $699 and you get a gorgeous website and hosting while we do just for that year. And it's pretty nice. We have different themes. Your site looks exactly like one of the themes you choose. You can go under our website, homestagingresource.com, and you can see that under the staging training. It's called the a la carte option. They're really beautiful. We've actually even we update them almost every other year. Yes, Carol, I have an awesome insurance girl, JD Forbes. She is, I don't think she's with Penn anymore, but I have my connection. I have every connection you'd need for this industry in the training. But she's very good. It's good to have all your stuff insured, right? You don't want your vacant stuff getting sold. Patty, e-design is a whole separate topic, but basically it's just giving clients a plan online. There's some great software, it's e-design software that helps you plan out kind of a room layout for a client online. Carolyn, as a regular person, you just need your business license, your wholesale license. I walk you through that in the training, how you get your wholesale license so that you can go to market. Pat, good question. This replay will be available to you and those offers only to tomorrow at midnight. All right. So I have to tell you, I always get people say, "Oh, I wish I saw it." If you missed it live, I'm so glad you guys at least made it live. So that is awesome. You're here, but you do get to rewatch it at your leisure tomorrow, and then the offers will go away tomorrow night at midnight. So I hope I get to work with some of you. I would love it. If you have questions, of course, please email me. But it's a great industry. And if your timing is now, you will love it. This is a great time to start a staging business because the hot spring real estate season is seriously a month away, just around the corner. So this is a really hot time for staging. Kimberly asked the difference between a stager and interior designer. A stager goes in and helps sellers design their home to sell. So it's all about designing for the potential buyers. And I walk you through that. The interior designer is going in to the home and designing the home for the people that live there. Totally different, right? The people that live there are very personal. They have different tastes. They have different lifestyles. So we really tap into the core of that to design for them. Where when we stage, we're designing for who we think is going to want to buy that house. It's just a little bit different, but very similar. That's why I'm one of the only trainers who trains you on both staging and redesign. You have to learn both because you're going to get the question from a client, "Hey, can you redesign my new home? Can you stage this?" They're kind of two sides to the same coin. That's why I cover both, and I don't charge you extra for a separate redesign certification or a separate staging certification. It's all in one large 3-week program. Great. The difference between my course and the ASP course, I have a ton more information. I pioneered online training, so no training has come close to it, and especially marketing. My background's internet marketing, so no training has come close to that. And I'm also just giving you all the resources. Other trainings do not give you all of the forums, all the guides, the Canva templates, the marketing stuff. I give you brochures in Canva that you can literally add to your Canva account, change your business name, swap out some of the photos if you want, and professionally print. I mean, you save hours and hours of time just on that one little thing I give you. There's so much resources in there. Great, Giselle. I'm so glad you love it. Okay, thanks, Melanie. You guys were great. Thank you all so much. I'm gonna keep it to that hour. You guys were a great crowd. I so appreciate it. And you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening. Thanks bunches. Take care.